Hello students, welcome to Uma Devi Children Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the few more properties of the salt. The salt is baking soda and the bleaching powder. We have to discuss here these two properties. What is baking soda? What are the properties of baking soda? What is bleaching powder? What are the properties of bleaching powder and their formula and their chemical reaction? All those things we are discuss today topics. So let's move students. The first topic is students baking soda. Baking soda is the chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Baking soda means the baking soda is the common name students. It is the common name. The baking soda is the common name. It is the common name. Generally we are called a common name. Like this, you have to keep the pet names are there. Like similarly, the baking soda is the common name, but actually its chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate. The formula of sodium hydrogen carbonate students NaHCO3. Sodium Na hydrogen HCO3 is the carbonate. So all the things are there here. So that is sodium hydrogen carbonate. The sodium hydrogen and the carbonate. Right students? So baking soda is a mixture of preparation. First we are going for preparation. The preparation of sodium hydrogen carbonate students. The sodium chloride react with ammonia, water, carbon dioxide to form sodium hydrogen carbonate. Right students? So when we are use the sodium chloride and water and carbon dioxide and ammonia, then we have mixed all those things, then it prepared the sodium hydrogen carbonate and NH4Cl, that is ammonium chloride. Right students? Okay, so when we are use the NaCl in one beaker, ammonia in liquid in one beaker, water in another beaker, and the gaseous carbon dioxide here. So we are mix all those things. After mixing all those things, we are applying the specific temperature, pressure we are applied here. After applying the specific temperature and pressure to form sodium hydrogen carbonate, or you may say baking soda. Right students? And also form the byproduct. The second product we call as a byproduct, right? That is the ammonium chloride. Right students? Properties of baking soda. So properties here students. So what are the property when you look the baking soda? If I in chemical lab, if I shown you the baking soda, it look like a white crystalline solid substance. Crystalline means students, last time we have discussed, it is like a cube like structure, like the sugar particle or the salt particles are present in our house. Like that only, it is like a cube like structure, that is the crystalline solid. Right student? Crystalline solid. So this baking soda is easily soluble in water, which is easily soluble in water, and this baking soda is the mild and non-corrosive. Mild means less reactive. Mild means students less reactive. Mild means less effective or less may say reactive towards skin, towards metal, towards wood. Right students? So it is non-corrosive base. Non-corrosive means in the previous chapter we have discussed that the non-corrosive things. So non-corrosive means it does not harms the skin. When the unfortunately or any accidentally the sodium hydrogen carbonate fell down in our hand, then it cannot burn our skin. It cannot burn our skin, so it is does not harmful. So it is non-corrosive nature. It react with the any metal. It cannot destroy the metal. When it fell down on the metal, it cannot destroy the metal and wood also. So that's why it is non-corrosive nature. Right, students? Okay. Sodium hydrogen carbonate on heating to form sodium carbonate by the elimination of carbon dioxide and water. Let's see the reaction. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, students, we are heating. When we are heating, so what happened? So in this region the carbon dioxides are eliminated here and water is eliminated and form sodium carbonate, right? Sodium hydrogen carbonate turns into sodium carbonate by heating, right, students? So tell me, students, if you are heating this reaction, it means, is this exothermic or endothermic? Right, it is endothermic, students. Heat on the left hand side of the arrow, heat on the left hand side, or heat is on the reactant side. So that's why when heat is the reactant side, it is called as a endothermic reaction, students. Endothermic reaction, it means it heat absorbs, students, right? Uses of baking soda, it is used as a antacid. Antacid means which remove the acidity from our stomach. Whenever we take the heavy oily food, then what happens, students? The HCl concentration, HCl, number of HCl in our stomach is increases. So to reduce the HCl level in our stomach, we are use the some soda, some Eno or lemon juice we are using, or we are using the baking soda also, baking soda. So baking soda act as a remove acidity from our stomach, right, students? Because it is a base. Whatever the baking soda is there, baking soda act as a base, and in our stomach HCl is there. HCl is the acid. Acid is neutralized by the base, so baking soda is the base, therefore it neutralizes the acidity, right, students? It is used in making cake, breads, etc., etc. When baking soda mix with dough, it releases carbon dioxide, therefore cakes, breads soft and spongy. So students, what happened in whatever the bakery products are there, the bakery products are so soft, so spongy are there. Why they are so soft and spongy? Because we are adding the baking soda, we are adding while preparing the food like cake, breads. While preparing, we are adding the sodium hydrogen carbonate. When we add the sodium hydrogen carbonate, the hydrogen carbonate to the dough which releasing the carbon dioxide, dough which releasing carbon dioxide. When it releases carbon dioxide, the cake is and bread are so soft and spongy. If it not release carbon dioxide, means it becomes the crispy and crunchy. Restaurants, any species, if you use the bread, if you use the bread is spongy and soft. Why it is spongy and soft? Because it releasing the carbon dioxides. And similarly, you may use the some toast or some other the bakery product which having very hard and crispy. Why it is hard crispy? Because it not releasing the carbon dioxides. Restaurants. However, if baking powder is not added to the dough in the preparation, the cake bread hard and quite small in size. If you are not adding the baking powder to the dough, then the cake and breads are hard and it is quite small size. Students, if you are not add the baking powder, means it turns into hard and small size, right? So when we are adding the baking powder, then it releases carbon dioxide. It releases carbon dioxide means the dough in which these reactions are occurs. It releasing carbon dioxide, it means the dough in which left only sodium carbonate is left here, because it releasing the carbon dioxide is releasing and left here only Na2CO3, right? That is sodium carbonate. So Why I explained you that previous reaction? Because baking soda is added to making cake and bread, and sodium carbonate is formed here. Sodium carbonate sodium carbonate is the Na2CO3. Sodium carbonate is forms here. Sodium carbonate. When sodium carbonates are exist in the bread or cakes, such type of bread and cakes are gives the bitter taste. It is not sweet taste, it is a bitter taste, right? So that's why, to prevent the bitterness of the cake and bread, we are use the baking powder, right? We are use the baking powder. So students, baking powder is different, baking soda is different, right? So what is baking powder? Let's see here. So here I give the difference here. Baking soda means sodium hydrogen carbonate, only this single species, sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaCO3. This is we called as a baking soda. And what is baking powder? Baking powder means it is a mixture of sodium hydrogen carbonate, this one, as well as tartaric acid or citric acid, right? So this is we called baking powder, right? The difference, students, right? These are difference, don't be confused here, students. So let's see here once again. The baking soda, sodium hydrogen carbonate, and baking powder is mixture means two or more than two component, sodium hydrogen carbonate and tartaric acid. So this mixture we called as a baking powder. So in the dough, if you just add the sodium hydrogen carbonate, it release carbon dioxide and left in the dough only Na2CO3. Due to the Na2CO3, the cakes and breads are bitter taste because of this component, right? So that's why we are adding the NaCO3 as well as the tartaric acid mixture. So this baking powder can be neutralize the Na2CO3 and prevent from the bitterness. This tartaric acid mixture which prevent the bitterness, right students? Prevent the bitterness. So that's why we are adding the baking powder, right students? Okay. So next is uses of baking powder. The tartaric acid present in the baking powder, it react with sodium carbonate to form sodium tartrate salt, right students? So when these mixtures are react with each other, sodium hydrogen carbonate and tartaric acid are mixed to form sodium tartrate salt. This sodium tartrate salt added to the dough, then the dough become sweet taste. The cake is sweet taste and bread is sweet taste because of the sodium tartrate salt, right? It is neutralize the reactions. It is neutralize means the tartaric acid is the acid, sodium hydrogen carbonate is the base. If base level increases in the dough, if just we add the sodium hydrogen carbonate, then what happens, students? It forms Na2CO3 sodium carbonate. It dough in which sodium carbonate exists in the large amount, then it becomes bitter taste. So base is this is the base always bitter taste. Already we have discussed, it is a base is the bitter taste. So that's why for neutralizing this bitter taste, we are adding this tartaric acid mixture. This tartaric acid neutralize the sodium hydrogen carbonate and it become the cakes and breads are sweet in taste, right students? So baking powder prevent the bitterness of the cake and bread, etc., right students? So sodium hydrogen carbonate are used as a fire extinguishers. Sodium hydrogen carbonates are used as a fire extinguishers. Third uses. So mixture of sulfuric acid and sodium hydrogen carbonate used as a fire extinguishers. So what happens, students, here? The fire extinguisher, students, the how to prepare the fire extinguishers. With the help of sodium hydrogen carbonate, we have prepare the fire extinguishers. So first step, 20 ml of sodium hydrogen carbonate taken into the wash bottle. Wash bottle is the type of bottle, students, that is we call as a, this is the type of bottle we call as a wash bottle, right? So in which the dilute sulfuric acid taken into the ignition tube tied with the thread, right, and the closed mouth wash bottle tightly. So these are the process. If we are use the bottle in which we are here to use the sodium hydrogen carbonate, and the whenever the mouth is there, so here we are the tagged with one more chamber, that is we called ignition tube. In this ignition tube we are using the sulfuric acid, and this is tied with the thread, and thread is outside the chamber, and it is closed with stopper, right? Okay, whenever you need, just you pull the thread, ignition tube, the sulfuric acid mix with sodium hydrogen carbonate, releasing the carbon dioxide over the burning candle or any burning spot. How it happened, let's see. So here, students, so this is the sodium carbonate we are using here, in which we are adding the this one of the ignition tube. This tube we call as a ignition tube. This ignition tube in which we are using sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid. So whenever we find the fire, we want to stop the burning of fire, then what we have to do, the here it connected with the thread, students, the thread is there here. So this thread, just we pull the thread, just we pull the thread. If you pull the thread means the sulfuric acids are completely fall down in the sodium hydrogen carbonate. When sulfuric acid fall down on the sodium hydrogen carbonate, then it mix completely and releasing the large amount of carbon dioxide is came outside. Large amount of carbon dioxide is came out, and it is can be stop the burning spot, or the it can be prevent the spreading of fire. Right, students, understood? So next is the bleaching powder. Next topic is bleaching powder. The chemical name bleaching powder is the common name. The chemical name of bleaching powder is calcium oxachloride. Calcium oxachloride, students. The calcium oxachloride, students, its chemical name is calcium oxachloride. And the formula is CaOCl2. This is formula of bleaching powder or formula of calcium oxachloride. Calcium Ca, oxa O, and chloride is Cl2. Calcium oxachloride. Once again I will write it, students. Calcium Ca, oxa O, and chloride is Cl2. Right, students, understood? Okay. So next, students, the substance which these bleaching powders are used for remove the color from a substance, right? For example, you may use our cloth is there, the handkerchief. In this handkerchief, what happened, the oil stain is fell down here, some oil stain is fall down. So this oil stain or the color is fell down. If color is fell down means this color spot cannot be removed with help of the washing soda, right? So that's why we have to use the bleaching powder. If we wash this cloth or this handkerchief with the help of bleaching powder, then bleaching powders are remove the color impurity. It remove completely color impurity. So the substance which remove the color from the substance called as bleaching agent, right? The bleaching had one more name, colored substance to colorless. it make color substance to colorless. Right students? Okay. Next is the preparation of bleaching powder or preparation of calcium oxachloride. Calcium oxachloride, calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide react with chlorine to form calcium oxachloride. Let's see students example. Calcium hydroxide. Okay students, the calcium hydroxide react with chlorine to form calcium oxachloride and water is formed here. Right students? So what is the use of calcium oxachloride? It is used in, most importantly, it is used as a bleaching agent. It used as a bleaching agent. It used as a bleaching agent to remove the colored substance turns into colorless. And one more important use, it is disinfectant. Disinfectant means it kills the germs, bacteria, called as disinfectant. Right friends? So the bleaching powder is the most important use is remove the color substance. The second one is it acts as a disinfectant to kill the germs in a water or germs from the area, in the house or the toilet, kitchens. The germs can be killed by the bleaching powder. Right friends? So properties of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder, white powder which gives strong smell of chlorine. It is a white powder. Right friends? It is gives the strong smell of chlorine. And it is soluble in water. It is soluble in water. So bleaching powder react with sulfuric acid to form chlorine gas. So calcium oxachloride react with sulfuric acid to form calcium sulfate plus chlorine. It releasing large amount of chlorine. Right students? It means the calcium oxachlorides are releasing the chlorine. With the help of chlorine, we have to remove the color component. Right students? We have to remove the color components. With the help of chlorines, we have to clean the water from swimming pool. Right? Chlorine is yesterday we had discussed now students the uses of chlorine. The chlorines are adding into the swimming pool. Why we are adding swimming pool? Because it can kill the germs in swimming pools. Right? Chlorine is bleaching agent. Chlorine is the bleaching agent which present in the bleaching powder. Right? So it means when the any stain, the color stain cloth is there, when you apply the calcium oxachloride, then what happen? Calcium oxachloride from which chlorines are react with this color and it completely remove the color from the cloth. So chlorine is removed. So chlorine is the bleaching agent from bleaching powder. Right friends? When colored cloth washed with bleaching powder, it turns into colorless due to the bleaching agent of chlorine, or chlorine also called as a oxidized by chlorine. Right students? So whenever the colored cloth is there, the colored stained cloth washed with the bleaching powder, then what happens students? The chlorine remove the colored stain. So that's why it is called as a oxidized chlorine. Right? Next is the uses of bleaching powder. It is used in the textile industry, paper industry. Why it is used in textile industry students? Whatever the cloth is we are using students, the new cloth. The new cloth is so there is no stain on them. Why it is no stain? Because it is bleached with bleaching powder. Right? And some papers are there students. You have to see the white unrolled paper. The unrolled papers are so soft and so clean, like the Xerox paper we are using the A4 size paper. The A4 size papers are so soft and clean. Why it is so soft and clean? Because it is bleached with the bleaching powder. Right, students? So next is the bleaching powder act as a disinfectant to drinking water because it makes water free from germs. And disinfectant, the bleaching powder also added to the swimming pool because the swimming pool water, so it is not dirty, it is not dirt, and it kill the germs also. And it is used in the manufacture of chloroform means CH3Cl3, CHCl3. Right, students? It is used in making of wool unshrinkable. So whatever the wools are there, the wool, with the help of wool we have to be make the many cloths or many the wearable things, we have to be made wearable things. So when we are the woolens are washed with the bleaching powder, it is the unshrinkable, it is becomes the straight form only. Right, students? It means the woolen like this, it like this. In this type of woolens, if we are washed with the bleaching powder calcium oxochloride, then it becomes straight like this, it becomes straight like this, it is unshrinkable. Right, students? It is used as a oxidizing agent in chemical industry. Oxidizing agent we are already discussed, students. In the first chapter we have discussed, that is the oxidizing agent means it is nothing but it is a reduction reaction accepting the electrons and the addition of hydrogen, so it acts as a oxidizing agent. Right, students? I hope you understood today lecture, students. If you find any doubt, ask me, students. Thank you so much.